Having me here. It's a pleasure to be here, and apologies, I'm going to deliver this in English for you. Quick show of hands, how many people here use Instagram? Alright, so quite a few of you. So you wouldn't believe, I've been in some rooms where there's been literally one person that uses the app. It's got a very young, vibrant audience here today. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Instagram is an application, a photo sharing application that was developed 4 years ago by two students at Stanford University, and they built this app to inspire creativity and authentic expression for every photographer in the world. And photographer is defined as anybody with a camera phone. Anybody with a camera phone can be a photographer and capture authentic expression with Instagram. So our mission is to capture and share the world's moments. And this Instagrammer here, Miss Underground, is one of my favorite Instagrammers in the UK. She's a girl that goes around taking shots of the underground. And she somehow manages to turn something that's so ugly and mundane into something really beautiful and inspirational by her use of symmetry and her use of light. And this is happening at a massive scale across the world. There are millions and millions of Instagrammers, a very vibrant community, capturing and sharing what inspires them with people across the world. So there are three core values and three things that have made the platform really successful. And these continue to be important, and they're really, really crucial for brands. The first thing is community. Community has to come first. Instagram wouldn't be Instagram without the community. These are people who capture what inspires them and share across the world. Has anyone here ever been to an Insta-meet? There's some Instagrammers here. So an Insta-meet is where people who participate in Instagram organize events, they meet up and they go off and they just shoot photography, shoot what they love. And these are being organized at a massive scale. I think we had our worldwide 10 Insta-meet a couple of weeks ago, and people just get together, people that don't know each other, people that have just met on Instagram and capture photography. And brands are now getting involved in this. We had the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art in New York let a bunch of Instagrammers into the museum after dark just to capture what inspired them from the museum. So Instagram and community go hand in hand, super, super important and crucial to the platform. The second thing is simplicity. Simplicity matters. Simplicity is so important for the platform. The platform is so simple to use. It is photography, it's video, it's two shots, it's curation. This is actually one of my favorite Spanish Instagrammers. You can't really see the visuals so well on the big screen, but Patricia is an amazing Instagrammer, and she uses minimalism to capture expression. So simplicity in terms of how the usage of the app, but the imagery and how they express themselves. And as I come to talk about marketing and brands later, you'll see how this is important also. The third, and I think probably the most important, is to inspire creativity. Instagram has this way of helping you transmit a story and helping you express yourself visually. Hands up who's ever shopped food, who's ever shopped their meal. Yeah, lots of you. I mean, I literally see people on restaurants standing over tables like this trying to catch photographs. And you can make breakfast inspirational. It's all about your unique perspective on the world. So we've seen phenomenal growth. We've over 200 million people globally in just 4 years. We're super proud of that growth, and to give you an idea of the context and to how fast that's growing, it's taken us half the time of Twitter and twice as fast as Facebook to hit 150 million people. And we're seeing this growth accelerate and accelerate and accelerate. And we're happy to say that Spain is one of our top markets, and we've got a very vibrant community here too. And this audience is worldwide, so the majority of our audience is actually outside the US, even though the app was developed in the US 4 years ago. The international community have really taken the app to their hearts and are using it to express themselves and share. In terms of time spent, and forgive me, this is a US stat. I believe ComScore, who were just here last, are working on this for Europe. But the reason I think this is important, it's about time spent on mobile. And of course, Facebook polarizes everything else. But if we look at the time people are spending on Instagram, it's huge. Now, that begs us to ask a question, what are they doing? What are they doing with this time on Instagram? And there's a couple of things they're doing. Let's go back one. The first one is carefully curating and spending time curating their photographs. Spending their time scrolling through the chronological simple feed and looking for inspiration. Right? They're snacking, they're dipping in and out, snacking on short form content. 60% of the people that engage in Instagram are engaging with people and things and publications and celebrities that they don't know. They're looking for inspiration outside of their friends groups. It's very different to Facebook, where the people that you are connected to are the people and the things that you know in the real world. Instagram is a place that transports you for inspiration. And when we did some qualitative user research, and we asked people, how does Instagram make you feel? Like, why do you like it? Why do you enjoy using it? The one thing that came back was this whole notion of transportation. It transports me somewhere. It takes me somewhere else I want to be. It inspires my imagination. And I was thinking about this morning as I was sitting in my hotel room looking at out the window at the dreary rain. It kind of reminded me of being back in London. But I was looking through my feed and I saw this photograph from one of the accounts that I follow. And I'm a big fan of skiing, and it was an image of someone looking down at their skis, standing on the edge of a mountain full of powder, just about to go. And for a second I was there. That was me on the edge of the mountain, and that was me about to go. And that's what Instagram does for people. It transports them somewhere where they want to be and inspires them. And people are spending time snacking. They're snacking, they're dipping in and out, they're looking for inspiration, and they're sharing, no matter what their passion is. So it's not just about fashion, even though fashion is very popular. Travel, sports, food, coffee, these are just a couple of my passions, but are categories and deep passions that people have that they're sharing on a daily basis. Sorry. Which brings me to short form video. The rise of the 15-second video has become immensely popular on Instagram, and as many of you know, we launched a new app for Instagram called Hyperlapse, which enables you to time-lapse videos, speed it up and slow it down. That sits outside the main app, which is also becoming very popular. Okay, so that's about the app and that's about the community and how it inspires. But what does this all mean for marketers? What is the proposition for brands? And what are the proposition for marketers of the core value of the platform are about community, simplicity, and inspiring creativity. The same is true for brands. So the value to marketers is the community is a passionate community. You get to put your brand amongst people that are deeply passionate about topics, around active segments. So whether it's food, fashion, travel, cycling, you name it, there are groups that are there that are deeply passionate that your brand can live amongst. Simplicity, it's a visual language, right? Text is secondary. A picture speaks 1,000 words. It's a way for you to express and communicate your brand visually, and that resonates with people. And then the third and most important is inspiring creativity. You have this creative context in which to tell your stories, in which to inspire people. I'm going to play a short video which will introduce some of the first brands on the platform in the US, and then I will go through examples of brands that are doing great things on the platform, and then some case studies with some results for you. So guys, if you can just play this video. Yeah.
Moving
US to embrace the platform. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of some brands that I believe are doing it well and some kind of core principles to think about. The first one is simplicity, which we will always get back to, and this is General Electric. So I was really surprised to hear what was happening with General Electric on the platform. General Electric are a company that make light bulbs and send you your electricity bill, right? Doesn't sound like a very inspiring company, but they came to us because they had a bit of a problem. They had a perception problem. They were finding it really difficult to recruit graduates from engineering schools, from the big engineering schools at Harvard and Stanford and MIT. All of these students wanted to go to work for Google and Facebook and Twitter and all these very sexy companies in California, and they didn't want to work for GE because they thought this is the company that makes light bulbs and sends you electricity bills. But little do people know, General Electric is an amazing engineering company. They build wind turbines, they build jet engines, they lay down the railways across America, but they just weren't very good at telling the story. So they hired members of the Instagram community to go out and shoot these amazing feats of engineering, and they also asked their employees to do that, and here's some of the images. And what they did was they changed the perception of their brand, and it really helped with them recruiting the right type of engineers. This is a travel company in Canada called Travel Alberta. Same thing, trying to change the perception of what their region was all about and inspire people to come and explore. And I love this shot of someone sitting inside a tent looking out at their friend who's about to walk out into the wilderness and inspiring people. Consistency is key. This is WaterAid. They're a charity who do the most amazing things with symmetry, light, and color. In every single photograph they post, the horizon is exactly the same. They use the same color palettes and sometimes the same kids. Authenticity. This is Patagonia. I love this one because their whole thing is about being authentic and being with you on your journey as a traveler and adventurer. So all of their imagery, it makes you feel like you're there with that person, that solitary person sitting alone on their surfboard or camping. And transportive, again, we go back to this notion of Instagram taking you somewhere else. And Land Rover, I encourage you to follow their account. They have the most amazing account. And this particular series is they were doing this trek to the South Pole. And I used to follow them on a daily basis, and some of the images that would post, I would almost shiver. I would feel like I was there at the South Pole with them. So, in terms of advertising on the platform, super new. In Europe, it's literally 7 weeks old. So we launched ads in the UK at 7 weeks ago to a small set of advertisers. And we launched ads in the US about 10 months ago, the same, to a small set of advertisers. And I wanted to share some very new and recent case studies and some of the things that we've been seeing from brands that have been advertising on the platform. The first one is by a company called Chobani. Chobani is the best-selling Greek yogurt in the United States. But again, they had a problem. The problem was that people were only eating yogurt at breakfast. And they wanted to change the perception of yogurt as a food you could have at any meal. It could be a dessert, it could be part of the main meal, it could be a side. They wanted to increase the frequency of purchase of yogurt. So what they did was they used photography to communicate how yogurt could be used, as you can see here, as a dessert, as part of the main meal, by tapping in to a meme that already exists on Instagram, which is on the table, which is people taking photography of food. So what we saw when we measured this with Nielsen is that, first of all, they reached a lot of people in the US that were in their target demographic. We saw a huge lift in recall compared to the control group. And then we saw a 7-point lift in consideration for this product being consumed at other times of the day, which is higher than the Nielsen average. Levi's is another one of the brands that were early adopters with us. And they wanted to build awareness of a new lifestyle that they're trying to create for Levi's. Again, reaching a lot of people in the US, and they had a huge amount of recall in terms of our ads. Again, using visual imagery and a meme that exists in the community of taking photographs over the shoulder. I'm going to play a quick video now for you with one of our clients from Mercedes-Benz talking about what they did in Instagram for the launch of their GLA ad. So guys, if you can play the video.
My name is Eric Gillard, and I'm the General Manager of Marketing Services at Mercedes-Benz USA. With the GLA, Mercedes-Benz is launching its smallest SUV. What we wanted to do was to demonstrate the real versatility of this product. So we recently ran an advertising campaign on Instagram called GLA Packed. And the idea that we came upon, tapping into behavior that's already native in Instagram, was to look at sort of this idea of things organized neatly. And we said, let's create a cargo mat that's the size of the GLA's cargo area, and then tap into some fantastic photographers and brand influencers in Instagram and ask them to show us what they would take with them on a hypothetical weekend. And so we've got this real broad spectrum of just amazing imagery showing all sorts of colorful and creative things that people would take with them on a weekend trip. When it came to advertising on Instagram, we had an opportunity to really get that message out to a much bigger audience and share with them our GLA Packed campaign. Instagram is a great channel for us for visual storytelling. The imagery, the visuals, the photography is so compelling and so beautiful that there's almost no caption necessary. When we launch a new product, you're going to see it first on Instagram.
So Mercedes had some great results. They had a huge amount of recall of their ads, and these, as you can see, their creativity has been amazing here. They saw a 54% increase in site visits from Instagram, and what they did at the same time is they took the Instagram images that were performing so well, and they published them on Facebook and targeted them at the autos and tenders audience and the clusters they built up over time with Facebook. And then they saw a 518% increase in traffic by combining Instagram and Facebook together. Incredibly powerful and incredibly smart. So the early results are promising. And in terms of what ads look like, they look like exactly like static images do when you take a photograph. The only difference is you see that sponsored story in the corner, and that is on purpose. We want advertising and brands to be parts of the experience. We don't want them to jar with the community, we want them to fit in. We want them to tap into what makes Instagram so popular, so sticky, and what makes people so passionate about it. So the results are promising. We're seeing really high ad recall, high message association, and higher than the average. But we do feel that this will go down over time because it's such a new platform. People are not used to seeing advertising, so we often see that when something is new, results are incredibly high and they normalize as people get used to them. So the results are great, but we do expect them to normalize over time as we move forward. I'm excited to say that at some point next year, we will be launching Instagram ads in Spain, and we're really excited about that. We're really looking forward to being here and working with you all. And I think that is it for me. Thank you so much for having me, and enjoy the rest of the conference.